M. Solomon here again. Shout out to Fretbound, Corporate Music. Let's get started. I want to take a look today at an excerpt from a correspondence from a servicing agent, attorney, alleged on behalf of the foreclosing entity. Let's take a look at it. I'm not an attorney, so I can't speak on behalf of the field of law. But when you read something, there's a fine line between poetic justice and perhaps legalese. So it's important to read the letter verbatim and try to determine if there's anything that's being revealed that would constitute disclosure that a layperson may otherwise not pick up. Now, for example, I'll read this to you. This is an excerpt from an attorney on behalf of the holder, in due course, the note holder who is foreclosing through a foreclosure mill. It says, "We are in receipt of your correspondence regarding the loan associated with the above referenced property." Okay, obviously the person had contacted them that's in default. But it says, to the extent that your correspondence is a request for validation of debt, please find enclosed the copies of the note and recorded deed of trust. The loan servicer and owner of the note for your loan is J.P. Morgan Chase National Association. That's N.A. You may reach your loan servicer, J.P. Morgan Chase National Association, directly. The original creditor for your loan is First Horizon Home Loan Corp. And they give an address. Here's an issue I have with this. A mortgage is just that. At least for the last 200 years, the word mortgage has its roots in the French language. But mortgage is pretty much a standard vernacular word that's used to describe the amount of money that used to purchase the property or to finance the property. Here it says a receipt is in correspondence regarding the loan associated with the above referenced property. That's your first indication you got something wrong here. They're talking about a loan associated with the above referenced property, and the above referenced property was the address for the subject property. And then it says to the extent this request is for a validation of debt, it was not, and that was thrown in there. It says, please find enclosed the copies of the note and recorded deed of trust. Well, the copies would have been available in a dead file. That dead file is called a whole loan file that a creditor would use in order to fund and to floor the loan until the loan would have been sold to an investor. It's called a warehouse lender. Now, it says here that the loan servicer and owner of the note for your loan, now they're saying for your loan, the loan servicer and owner of the note for your loan is J.P. Morgan Chase Bank National Association. It says you may reach the servicer, and they give a number. Now, it ends with the original creditor, once again, of your loan is First Horizon Home Loan. Here's what I make of this. Again, where I see copies of the note and deed of trust, that would have been in a dead file. That would have been with a seller. And it also would be with the successor in succession, it should be just successor, the successor to the seller. That'd be the purchaser. The successor in succession would have been, a company called EMC, and that would have been a servicer. EMC was connected with the owner of the note, who would have been the actual investor. The actual investor would have been, in this case, Bear Stearns, which was a joint venture relationship with EMC. So EMC would be the servicer. Bear Stearns would be your investor. Okay, no big deal. We got a seller, and we got the successor, EMC, and Bear Stearns, which were part of a securitization. Now, it says that the owner of the loan servicer and owner of the note is J.P. Morgan Chase. Now, that's your successor in succession. The argument I would make here is that your servicer and your investor were each purchased by the successor, which means J.P. Morgan Chase Bank is a successor by merger and acquisition. So it doesn't mean you'll necessarily have any assignment in the file, and I don't think we have any assignment in the file to J.P. Morgan Chase, or perhaps if we do, it would be a questionable assignment. The loan servicer and the original owner of the note, or it says owner of the note, and it says the original creditor is First Horizon. A creditor is a warehouse lender. It's the one that floors the loan until it's sold. When they say the original creditor is First Tennessee would be the original mortgage lender. But I think they're saying First Horizon because First Horizon is owned by First Tennessee, and I believe the bank has changed their name now to First Horizon Bank. I'm not sure, check me on that. But they're saying the original creditor was First Horizon. No, First Horizon was the original seller. Now, where the original seller is owned by the creditor, and now the successor, who they call servicer, and who was the original servicer, and the successor, who was the original investor, when they're both owned by the same entity, you have something called divestiture. And a divestiture is where the note divests into the deed. The note and deed divest into the outstanding balance that was required to fund the loan, which means the amount that was required to fund the loan basically purchased the loan. In other words, the whole loan file transfers to the successor, which would be, the creditor, and that would act as an investor. And that makes sense because if EMC and Bear Stearns conducted a sale within themselves, that divestment would have been acquired by J.P. Morgan Chase. What that means is a couple of things. Most importantly, what it means is you're going to have two separate balances. One is going to be an outstanding principal balance. The other is going to be an interest-bearing account. And those should be matching balances, contra accounts. And the contra accounts should zero each other out. And if I'm correct, that means that this foreclosure, like so many other ones, will be going down for zero as a result of the divestiture and the tolling or time required using the accounting rules under the installment sale method, which we'll get into later. Anyway, I'm glad you had a chance to stop by. We'll have more on this subject. The letter, correspondence, you need to read it in detail and understand really what's being said. I'm Solomon, checking out.